Hello and welcome to the show. Today I've got my good friend Heures Dis.
Hello.
Heures Dis. He's got his own YouTube channel. It's called Heures Dis.
Yes.
And go and check it out. Subscribe and have a look at it.
Thank you.
Guys, today I want to talk about selling watch horror stories. And I got to tell you, I've recently decided that for my own collection itself there, I would like to downsize a bit. And this was basically after I was burgled last year. I was left with only one watch. That's the Explorer 2 on the screen here with the other watches. The other watches were purchased post-burglary. And then I bought some of these here with I put a bit on the home HELOC and a little bit credit card, and then I had a bit of a settlement on the insurance. I still lost a lot of money, but now I've had these watches for a couple months. I've actually decided to trim a bit, and when I got the Maserati Blue Daytona, I actually had a good friend of mine, Madman, who's come on the streams, and he said, I want to buy it. If you want to sell it, let me know. I want to buy it. And he's a very cool guy. I'm flying down this weekend to hand the watch to him. And basically what I'm going to do, is I say to him, look, just check the watch. Make sure you are happy with it. If you're not happy, I'd basically refund him less the airfare and hotel costs. But if he is happy, deal done. Well, the deal is done. It's just I want to make sure he's happy.
Yes,
but
that's important. Yeah, that's very important.
I also, at the same time that I wrapped up the deal on that Maserati Daytona, I was also looking at selling my Patek as well. That's the 5196. And I had a good friend of mine. He's got a dealer he knows. And he said to me, hey, he'll take it. Basically, I got my money back plus a little bit of profit. And I thought, okay, that's great. But what happened is this. Let me just tell you what happened. It's never as easy as it seems. The dealer said to me, well, he's never dealt with me. I get it. He said, I've actually sold that watch to another person. Because he's a dealer. He buys things, he sells things.
Yeah.
And he said, what I want you to do is I want you to show the watch to this guy, and he's going to take that watch and he's going to give you, it was actually a steel Daytona, a pre-ceramic steel Daytona. Okay?
Yeah.
And then what I want you to do is you're coming down to Melbourne anyhow, because I told him I'm coming to Melbourne to deliver the two-tone Maserati Daytona. He said, well, I'd like you to bring down the steel one. You can give it to me and I'll give you your money. Now, the problem is, let me tell you what the problem is here, Dis.
Mm-hmm.
I've been around the block a few times, and I've had troubles before. Ever you have problems, it always bites you. These things, you just can smell trouble. And I'm thinking, this isn't the way to do things. I was a bit shitted off with how he wanted to do things. My view is, as soon as this guy says to me, sold, I want you to give this watch to this person, You put the money in my account. Okay? You put the money in my account, and then I don't mind taking another watch from this guy and delivering it to you in a week. That's okay. I don't mind that. But I want the money immediately. As soon as my watch has left my hand, I want the money.
Of course.
And the guy who was buying it, I actually know. Okay, I don't want to name names, but I had a bit of a run-in with him because at one stage I was trying to sell, when I had two 5127 Pateks, he was going to buy it. He wanted to buy that off me, and he basically lowballed me. Okay.
Yeah.
So that kind of pisses me off. Okay.
Yes. Of course.
Because I try and price things fairly. I don't want to be lowballing on it, right?
Yeah.
So then this guy, I know, he's also very pedantic. I remember I was in my friend Ronnie's watch shop, and this guy had bought a Daytona, and he brought it back a week later and said, I'm not happy with the lume on the hands compared to the dial. He said it's slightly different lume, slightly different strength. And I thought to myself, this is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
It's not like he said the hands are fake or that's not right. And I just thought, fuck, this guy is pedantic. I don't want to sell him. I don't want to sell him anything because it's so. What I'm trying to tell you, the story is, I can just smell trouble. Now I don't do things. If I don't feel comfortable, I don't do them anymore. I used to, when I was desperate for sales in the past, you jump through hoops and you do this. Sometimes you can just tell it's going to be a disaster. Now, you've got an interesting story. Tell us your story there, because it wasn't so long ago. You had a no-date Submariner, a 14060. Is it an M or a 14060?
Sorry, Archie, I didn't hear so well. It was a 16610, a date sub.
Ah, date sub. Okay. Now, you sold it to a guy in Israel, a dealer in Israel. Tell me the story there, Diz.
No, it was a guy, not a dealer. Maybe he was a dealer and I didn't know about it. Now, 2 years ago, I had some health issues. You know about them.
Yes.
And I had some financial issues.
Yeah.
So I had a 16610 from 2004, full paper,
nice
box, everything. I had everything, full set. The watch was just little polished. It was in great condition. Really tip of the top 16610 that you can only dream about.
Yes.
And I had come to a conclusion that I have to sell it because I needed some money and I needed it fast.
Yes.
So somebody came up after I published it on Facebook, the marketplace, and he said, hey, I want to buy it from you. And he came over to my house. He was a very nice, cordial guy around my age, late 30s. And we just sat down where I'm sitting right now. We smoked a cigarette together. We talked about watches. We talked about life. And he just charmed me. I was charmed by this person. Now, at the time of the sale, I was not okay 100%.
Sure.
Mentally. And he told, when I sold him the watch, he said, listen, I can't pay you the entire sum right now. I don't remember the dollars. It was 35,000 shekels. Okay. And he said, I'll pay you 15,000 shekels right now. And he did. And in my next payday, I will pay the remainder 20,000 shekels. So in my foolishness and my really need for money, I said, okay, let's do it. Okay, what you promise? You promised, of course. Of course I promise. I'm your brother, you see, I'm shaking your head, I'm smoking cigarettes with you, I'm your friend. Of course I will pay you. So time went by. He said I will pay him by December the 10th. December 10th came, nothing. I call him, nothing, no answer, nothing. Then he answers me after a few days. Listen, I have some problem, I'll pay you next month. Next month comes, January 2022, nothing. Gunish, nada. the time goes on, and I understand that he's not going to pay. So I go to a lawyer. The lawyer sends him a letter. Suddenly, the guy tells me, the watch is not in a good condition. It has this scuff over here. It has this mark over here. I don't want to pay you 35. I want to pay you 32. He starts haggling with me after the fact that I sold him. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Now, meanwhile, I need the money. I need the 20,000 shekels that he owes me. But he doesn't send me one shekel, one fucking shekel. So my lawyer sends him another letter, and then suddenly he's willing to talk about it. His lawyer, he has a lawyer himself, sends a letter to my lawyer. Let's settle this down so nothing bad comes out of it. In a nutshell, what happened is that he paid off everything in the end. But the conclusion, the matter here is that I was foolish because I didn't receive all the money in the spot. Whenever you are selling a watch, you need, and this is obvious, but for me it wasn't obvious. You need to watch the money at the point of sale, not tomorrow, not in the next 5 minutes, not in the next hour. Now, yes, now you pay. And that was my mistake, and I learned from it. But whenever you sell a watch, and this is for everybody watching, you never, ever, ever accept a future payment. Now, you're not a store, you're a personal person, you're a private person, you receive it now. That's my, how do you say, my conclusion from all this ordeal, Archie.
Yeah. And it's the thing is too that okay, you may have got the money back, but I noticed this. You remember the fucking date and the amounts like yesterday because you're fucking angry about it.
Oh, I am because it's embarrassing, to be honest. I'm telling it to you and the viewers now, but it's embarrassing. I did something very foolish, very, very foolish.
Mm.
It hurts me to talk about it because I love that Submariner. It didn't deserve to be sold like that. It deserved to be sold like somebody, like you said, like somebody you actually know. You know that they're a good person, that they will love the watch.
Yes.
I sold it to some, piece of crap, piece of shit person. And it angers me so much right now when I think about it. But I'm relaxed. It's okay. I'm relaxed. But
yes,
you have to buy the seller. You have to buy the buyer. You have to.
Well, he charmed you, but he came and charmed you. He had a cigarette with you, and
yes, he had a cigarette with me. He told me about his life, about his children, about his wife, about his job. He really took me by my heart, and I am easy to charm. Sadly.
Do you
And
think
I paid
he
the
was?
price for it.
Do you think he intentionally did that? He always.
Yes. He's a swindler. He's a swindler of sorts. I bet he did it to many people before, and he will do it to many people after me.
Let's see. That's very upsetting to have this sort of stuff.
Yes.
Happens there. It's I think you've just got to be really careful with this sort of stuff. Just out of interest there, we're talking about this watch here, 35,000 shekels is about $9,500 US.
Yes.
Which was already a fantastic price.
Yes.
And it's very sad. Like he was trying to negotiate 3,000 shekels is $800 off that price. He wanted to make it lower.
Yes,
which is when you've already got a really low price, it really hurts when they're trying to make it even lower.
Yeah, that happens a lot, sadly. Yeah.
It's a terrible way to go. My advice is, I'll be honest with you, if you don't feel comfortable doing a deal, don't do it. See, I'll tell you my problem. I was trying to do a deal on that Patek Philippe we were talking about.
Yes.
I know the guy who was wanting to buy it. He's even though, as far as my Patek is perfect. It's a 2020 5196. It's as perfect as you'll get. I just know he's a difficult person.
Yes.
I don't really want to sell to him. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to swap my Patek for another watch, which I don't want. If you don't want my Patek, I want to keep my Patek. You understand? I don't want to have swapped it and say then I give this other watch to the dealer and he says, "Oh, you didn't tell me it had a scratch." Well, it's not my watch. I'm just the courier. I'm just the courier.
Yeah.
And I could see how I could get I'm the meat in the sandwich. And I said to that guy, I said to him, if you want my watch, as soon as I leave my house to go and show this to the other person, you need to have put the money in my account. Yes. Because once I've got the money, I can tell you to get stuffed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but if I haven't got the funds, I got no. Basically, I'm stuck. Okay.
Yeah.
And his argument was, well, the watch you're picking up is actually more valuable than this. Well, I said to him, it's not more valuable to me. I don't want that other bloody watch. I want my Patek. If I don't have the money, I just sold a two-tone Daytona. My dream Daytona was that Maserati Daytona. If I wanted a Daytona, I wouldn't have sold. Well, I do love that Maserati Daytona, but I don't want his watch. I want, this is the whole thing. And I think what you need to do is you need to say, no, I'm not doing the deal. You need to know when to walk out and say, no, I'm not happy.
Yeah.
And that's why now that's why I don't want to do, that's why I didn't do the deal. I didn't do the deal because I didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
And that's the important thing. You've got to do deals where you're comfortable. And in my own case, I got to tell you, got to be careful. And I'm not in. I don't know. I've kind of thought about it and thought, you know what? I might just keep this Patek for a little bit longer. I don't have to sell it, but I got to tell you, if you're in America, one person who I do recommend is David SW. Now, a dealer isn't going to pay as much as a retail customer, but to have a good, honest deal, sometimes it's worth taking a bit less from a dealer to avoid hassle.
Yes.
But yeah, very, very interesting story. Okay, Dis, I'm going to run the ad. Just hang on there. We'll run the ad for my good friend David SW, and then I'll come back. Hi, guys. It's ArchieLuxury. Guys, I want to talk to you about David SW. David SW. Guys, if you are in America, if you are looking for a Rolex watch of your dreams, in fact, if you're looking for a contemporary modern wristwatch, I strongly advise you to look at David SW. Guys, don't play the dealer games. Don't bring in chocolates or Krispy Kremes for your dealer hoping to get a Rolex at retail. It's futile. Please, guys, save your dignity. Keep some pride. Go to David SW. I would highly recommend David SW. If you're in America and you're looking for a watch, go to David SW. Okay. I'm just going to run the outro and then just stay there and I'll chat to you.
Okay. Sure.